So thanks everybody for coming along to the webinar today. My name is Luke Curry. I am the EMEA manager for the reseller channel for HubSpot, which just means that I help our partners deliver great service to our customers all over Europe, Middle East, and Africa. One of our partners in the UK and I region is Provident, and we've run these types of webinars before. We've always got a lot of great feedback. So today, me and Sarah, who will introduce herself momentarily, we'll be taking you through a webinar on how to get the most out of HubSpot when it comes to alignment within the business. We've taken feedback from our previous webinars with Provident, and a lot of the people that came to the webinar said the content was great, but we wanted to see a little bit more of the product and how things actually worked in practice. So what we've done is we've put together a kind of a sneak peek inside of HubSpot, so you guys can have a look for yourselves and kind of get a flavor of what we do here, and we'll take from there. But the actual the kind of content today is really about the alignment piece. Yeah,
thanks, Luke. Okay, so we flip over to the next slide. So good afternoon. Thanks, Luke, for that introduction. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Sarah Tate. I'm one of the senior sales executives here at Provident. It's great to be back doing another webinar. So thanks for joining us today. I'm very excited to be here with Luke and showing you how you can align your business with HubSpot's CRM. So the agenda for today, next slide, Luke. So just some housekeeping. Everybody's on mute, but please feel free if you want to do any chats among yourselves. You could use the chat box. If you do have any specific questions, please put them in the questions and answers box. I'll be monitoring those as we move through the webinar, and we will have time at the end as well. And just so looking at the agenda today, what we'll be looking at is the definition of customer-facing team alignment. Is this, and how big of a problem is this for your business? We'll be understanding HubSpot's shift to alignment of these tools. We'll be sharing with you some actual real-life customer examples, and we'll also be, as Luke mentioned, previewing some of these tools as well. So just to start with, a very quick overview of who we are at ProvidentCRM. Our head office is based in Dublin. We were established in 2000. Our team members are based all over the world, with the majority being in Dublin. I'm based in the UK, here in the Midlands, although I'm soon to be moving south to Suffolk, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we've been working in CRMs for, well, since year 2000, and we are a HubSpot Platinum partner.
Exactly, and just to add to that, the HubSpot partner piece really came in 2019. Provident are one of the kind of founding partners of the reseller model here in HubSpot. The reason why we reached out to those guys and formed a partnership was that we really were looking to fill a gap in our expertise when it comes to CRM. As you'll see in the presentation today, CRM is really the base of everything that we're doing going forward. We started life as a marketing first platform or software, but since we've moved into the CRM space, we're really leading on partners like Provident to make sure that we can build great deliveries of and rollouts of CRM across the UK and I in this case.
Excellent, thank you. So what are the services and how can ProvidentCRM help you in CRM service marketing implementations? So we're here to help you succeed in the implementation, and obviously to make sure that your implementation is a big success. The majority of CRM projects or marketing projects start with the consultation phase. So this is made up of discovery workshops. We'll be understanding your business processes, what you're looking for CRM to do for you, and we'll basically help design that out and map it out, which will provide you with a full statement of works. So almost like a full catalogue of how your CRM and marketing tools are supposed to be working. So once the discovery phase has taken place, we will then move on to implementation and integration. So this is obviously, you know, configuring the HubSpot to work for you, integrating it with any other packages that you might have, such as accounts packages, And then we approach a go live. And then upon go live, we'll provide the full training, both on the administration side and on an end user's point of view. So we'll complete the training on your CRM with your terminology and your processes. So that was obviously an extremely quick overview, but the timeline on all of this just, depends on the project itself.
Absolutely. And Sarah touched on some really important parts there about how HubSpot is evolving. With the implementation, integration, training, all that type of stuff, we used to do that. We still do that to a certain extent in-house, but it is very kind of light, and our partners like Provident have really allowed us to step up when it comes to the deliverables of projects, which is great to see. Okay. So guys, HubSpot is a CRM platform. So this is our big push for this year, with some of the upgrades that we actually had at the beginning of this year from a platform point of view, as well as additional hubs that we've added, such as Operations Hub, which is how data is managed within a CRM. We really are pushing the CRM as a platform, and HubSpot at the core of your business. So I thought I'd put this in just to give a little bit of context to show you where we're coming from, what the genesis of HubSpot is, to help you guys position this in your mind. Founded back in 2006 by our founders in the US. And basically our whole pitch back then was inbound marketing, trying to get people to find you online. We built a great marketing platform for marketing automation, SEO, social media, kind of anything to do with marketing. We really had a big chunk of the market. And then around 2014-15, we launched our CRM. And the biggest reason why we launched it was a free CRM at that time, was that we were doing a great job for customers, actually getting them to generate leads, but they needed a data depository for those leads. And that's why we thought we'd give them that CRM for free, and that business has evolved into an enterprise-ready solution. Sales Hub is the more premium tools, more premium CRM. Service Hub then came along in around 2018, and that was our offer for service teams to make sure that they're looking after customers properly. The CMS Hub and the Operations Hub were added later. The idea behind the kind of flywheel that we have up on the right-hand side here is that we will, every time that you guys are interacting with your customers, we want to make sure that we're capturing that information in one place, so that if you're in sales, if you're in service, if you're part of the marketing team, you have a complete view of what's happening with that customer, that prospect, or that student, if you're a higher education entity, or whoever you are. We want to make sure that you really understand exactly what's happening with your customers. Okay, so one thing that we always try to bring to light as well is that HubSpot is built differently than our competitors in a lot of ways. It's been kind of crafted together rather than kind of pushed together, and we tried to build it on a united interface. So we're not just buying lots of different smaller software vendors and kind of mashing them together like a lot of our competitors do. So when you use HubSpot, you'll always have that type of alignment. You'll always have that type of cohesion with all the data and all the content within the platform. And HubSpot is growing all the time. In the last year, we went from a $10 billion market cap to, I think, 25, 26 billion. A lot of big companies, eBay, WWF, SurveyMonkey, a lot of kind of household names when it comes to users of HubSpot, which is great to see. When I started about 4 years ago, a lot of these companies were at places like Salesforce or other CRMs, but now they're all coming to HubSpot, which is great to see.
It is, yeah.
Okay. So I guess this was a question that we wanted to ask the people out there. We might ask ourselves this as well. What is the one thing that you're going to do to drive your business forward for the rest of the year? We're kind of coming into a bit of a sleepy time when it comes to sales and marketing and stuff like that over summer. But what's the thing that you guys are doing over at Provident Sarah, to drive the business forward?
Lots and lots of marketing. Of course, utilizing the tools that we have within HubSpot, generating the traffic to the website, generating all of the LinkedIn ads, analyzing those, really understanding what it is people are interested in seeing, and then obviously tracking the conversion through from those. So, we're doing so much more on marketing this year than we have any other year, By the way, guys, if you want to answer that question, feel free to, put an answer in the chat box there. It'd be good to understand what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely. And from a HubSpot point of view, the one thing that we're really doing to drive our business forward is we have got to a point where we're growing 40% year over year. Really, we are really needing to lean a lot more on our partners. Our strategy has pivoted a little bit from a direct sales first organization to a partner collaboration organization. So over the next 6 months, we're going to be doubling down on that. We're going to be sharing a lot of resources with our partners, as well as making sure that our partners are serving our customers even more. So that's kind of where we're at when it comes to that. If anyone does have any suggestions there, we can talk through it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a quick kind of tee up before we jump into the product and how HubSpot helps you align your teams. Team alignment, having a joint mission. Like, I don't know if for you guys, but today I've spoken to people in billing. I've spoken to my partners in 5 or 6 different countries. I've spoken to the customer success team and HubSpot. And what allows us to do this in such a cohesive way is that we use HubSpot ourselves internally. This wasn't always the case up until I think 3 years ago. We were using multiple different apps when it comes to marketing, sales, and service. But now everyone's on the united platform, and that's how we're really making sure that we have a joint mission, and it's all very clear with the HubSpot platform. And so the danger of misalignment is something that we'd like to just cover before we tee off as well. 29% of employees say that a leader's vision always seems to be aligned with their organization. Only 29%, less than 1/3 of employees are impressed by that, which is a tough one. 44% of projects fail. This is a big risk when it comes to CRM implementations. HubSpot has a really good record of implementation success because of the kind of user friendliness and stuff like that. But Sarah, I'm sure over the years, you have a lot of experience working in CRMs. You've probably gone into businesses after a failed CRM implementation in the past.
Yeah, there's been quite a huge chunk of those. To be honest, it's amazing.
What do you think is the one thing that, just out of interest, I know we didn't practice this, but just for my own information, what do you think that is like one of the steps that people should take before they launch a CRM project?
Yeah, okay, so definitely speaking to all departments in the business, finding out from each department what it is that they need, their day-to-day tools, rather than just thinking it up as to what you think they need. Really go into detail and get specific requirements from each team, because then immediately you're building up the user adoption by getting their input from the very beginning, rather than implementing what you think they want and then expecting them to use it. That's definitely one of the top ones that I've seen. Absolutely,
it's great advice. And then 10% of company spending is wasted on misalignment. I could say 10% is probably multiples of that in some organizations that I've worked for in the past, let's say. Okay, so a quick alignment study, and this is actually one that me being HubSpot and Provident went through last year. It was a really big SaaS business that was growing 400% a year, like a huge amount of growth. They came to HubSpot, they came to Provident, and they were looking at getting one unified a platform for all of their marketing, sales, and service. At the time, they were using Salesforce for sales. Marketing was using Marketo, and the service team was using Help Scout. And none of those apps were talking to each other in a cohesive way, and it was almost impossible for this company to keep up with growth, as well as kind of mining the data for useful insights. That integration was a complete mess. Marketing had no oversights on sales leads, which is one of the biggest pain points that we come across when we're doing discovery sessions with our potential customers. Is, you know, marketing think that they're doing a great job, sales think that they're doing a great job, but there's no kind of oversight in either direction. So you get a kind of a siloed effect. The sales had no way of seeing how onboarding of customers was going. So sometimes the salespeople would reach out to new customers to try to upsell or cross-sell to them, but they might have been having problems with the onboarding, and it was really causing a lot of friction. Services were struggling to manage the onboarding because all of the data pieces were really cobbled together in all different platforms. So to kind of what we did there was that we brought all of the all those teams into one interface with HubSpot. So from a marketing point of view, marketing could not only run all their campaigns, all their marketing automation, social media, all that type of stuff within HubSpot, but the sales people could have real input into what the marketing team were doing by marking accounts as target accounts for account-based marketing, for basically giving feedback on leads that are maybe unqualified. So marketing could take that data and readjust their approach to the market. From a services point of view, the service people could look at the kind of one view of that customer and see all of the interactions with sales and marketing, and they could basically serve them in a really cohesive way. Even if there was an upsell or cross-sell opportunity, they can mention a salesperson on a existing customer, and they can go ahead and try to serve them.
Okay, so just a little bit about this slide. So Luke touched on this earlier about HubSpot, you know, is crafted together. It's a CRM platform at the highest level because it's a single source of truth built with common components across all of the hubs, which empowers your front office teams to deepen relationships with customers and provide a best-in-class experience. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, is the customer experience. So with HubSpot, obviously you've got the CRM. Well, I don't know why I'm doing this because you can see it on the screen, but I like talking with my hands. So you have the CRM as the underlying database. You've then got marketing, sales, service, content management, operation systems, which are all, you know, just sitting on the top of that layer. So as Luke mentioned, unlike the competitors, you know, they have a customer service, a sales, usually they've acquired a different software and then built an integration. Whereas with HubSpot, it's all running from that same underlying database. So, you know, the integration between all of them and how users see what's represented to them, presented to them on the screen is seamless. So yeah, that's, you know, that's what I wanted to say about that slide.
Perfect. And you know what, we've really put it together kind of in the minds of the viewers now. They're saying, okay guys, we hear you, you're saying that it's all going to be an all-in-one interface. Let's actually see what that looks like in practice. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the inside here. So Sarah, you're seeing my video now, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Can't hear it.
Can you guys not hear that?
No.
Interesting. Hold on there. This happened before.
That's okay. I'm addressing some of the questions that are coming in. So. Okay.
You work the questions there, and I'll try to fix this. This happened before, I believe, but we fixed it. Share screen. Share computer sound. Now we're cooking with Diesel.
That's okay. A busy desktop, Luke.
Yeah, it's busy. Look, wow. We dressed him up like little. That's my baby there.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Share desktop 2. We should be good to go. Yeah, we gave him a little. Okay, now Sarah, give me the thumbs up if this works. All right, one,
Everyone,
two, three.
Luke here. I just want to give you guys a quick look into the platform so you can get a feel for how the platform is set up and how all three hubs work together. So this is the interface here. As you can see, we've got marketing, sales, and service all in the one place. And this is important when we're working with just one united platform to make sure that we understand what's happening with our customers. This is a great place where you can also find the information about the different elements of the business through the different reporting, the reporting suite here. So we've got sales, so we can have a look at what's happening with the sales pipeline and everything like that. We've got the service report builder as well, so we can track things like tickets, the amount of customer satisfaction, all that good stuff. And then we also have our marketing reporting as well. So this is all in one suite. It's all pulling data from the underlying CRM. This gives great opportunity for alignment and really works well when it comes to managing a business with distributed teams like a lot of us are working with right now.
So when we talk about that distributed teams piece, it's something that we really push. This is the third or fourth webinar that we've done with Provident, and it is something that at the very beginning when we were doing this during the first COVID wave, it looked like we were never going back to the office. But I think there's going to be a real blend of that in the future, and I think some people work in the office, some people are working remotely. I think having a all-in-one interface is even a more important prospect in that case. So that all-in-one interface gives you a view into how all three customer-facing teams can work together out of one view. But I also wanted to discuss a little bit here about that 360-degree view of the customer, and this is something that comes up now more than ever on every single RFP, RFI that me and my partners are answering. This is what people are looking for when they're running their business. They want to know everything about a customer. How many deals have they done? What's their average spend? What's their how long they've been a customer? Are they part of a VIP list? Is there an SLA with the customer? All of this information should be in one place so that sales, marketing, and service people can pull that information.
Hey everybody, I know that we were talking about alignment today, and there's no better place to start with alignment when it comes to that 360 view of your customer. So what I've done here is I've come into the interface here. I've gone to contacts. I've gone into one of the contacts here, Morty Smith. And this is the interface where you can see absolutely everything that's happening with Morty, whether that's marketing communication, whether that's his interaction with marketing. So the stuff that he's done on the website or the conversions that he's had, all of the deals that he's been involved in, all of the tickets that he's opened, attachments of contracts, all of that stuff is going to be in one place. We even have integrations for stuff like Sales Navigator for the sales teams to do a deeper dive on Morty and see if there's any way we can build on that. When it comes to other integrations you might have already with your or other platforms you may be using with your business, like SurveyMonkey, that'll all be integrated in HubSpot as well, and you'll be able to see all of his answers from all of the surveys you've sent in the past in this example. From a deep dive data point of view, we can also go into view all properties and see absolutely everything that Morty has done with our company, and really get a good view about this customer. The reason why this is important is that if I'm a salesperson, I want to sell more product to Morty. If I'm a service person, I want to make sure that the communications between sales and Morty were correct, or I can keep up with what's happening there. And if I'm a marketer, I need to understand the interactions of Morty post conversion. Every communication that goes out to Morty will be tracked here. So interesting if you are looking to align your front office teams.
So if I just go back to Luke's...
Hey everybody, I know that we were talking...
Oh, don't do it again, but I just want to go back
about alignment today.
He keeps butting in there. Okay, so just to kind of break down what we're looking at here even further, if I'm a marketer, I want to be able to segment Morty in a very detailed way. We might talk a little bit about that in a while. But when I worked in different organizations, if I'm using Salesforce or other CRMs, it was very much a sales-centered view that I had. And I think what we do well in HubSpot from an alignment point of view is that we can basically filter the activity log of all of these accounts, so that the person who is seeing the accounts, if they're a service person, they just see tickets, they just see survey reports, all that type of stuff. And if you're a marketer and you just want to see what website pages that they've gone to, have they gone to any demo pages or whatever, if you're selling software, we can filter Morty by that, and then we can really craft a marketing marketing message to Morty. So again, that's what we're talking about, that 360 view. So sometimes when we have that as in an RFP or an RFI, I'm always delighted, because we have a really strong kind of pitch when it comes to that. One of the other things we wanted to do, so we got 360 view for alignment, which we've done. Okay, so this one is going to be how to optimize and automate the steps in your customer's journey. Another really interesting kind of evolution that we've had in HubSpot has been around using our workflow and automation tools. At the beginning, when I started 4 years ago, it was very marketing focused. We were going to be marketing directly to a persona, a very specific type of person, and we wanted to make sure that we were crafting our message for that person. And that was kind of it. We were trying to make sure that that person either called us to book time with a salesperson, or went ahead and bought a product either through e-commerce or through a landing page or something like that. But as the product has evolved, the way that we kind of treat our customers in the long term, or in that kind of a full sales service cycle, has evolved as well. And now we're able to use our automations to manage every step of the customer's journey. So at the very beginning, the customer's journey might start with them asking for more information on a landing page. Afterwards, they'll be communicated with via email, WhatsApp, SMS, whatever you guys want to use to communicate with your customers. After that, we're going to automate the handoff to a salesperson. Once the salesperson has actually closed the deal, we can then automate the next handoff to service and set up the next steps, whether that's going to be tasks or getting them enrolled in another workflow. So something to keep in mind here as we go through the next little peek inside.
Hey guys, when we talk about alignment, oftentimes we're talking about how the customer interacts with the different departments within our business. So in this case, what I've done, I've opened up a workflow within HubSpot, and this is where we're going to be able to design the processes behind what drives the customer journey in an automated way. So in this case, there's a form fill on our website. They get an email to ask them if they want to book a meeting with us or whatever. We can add different steps in here. We can rotate between the sales team to say, we can rotate the deal to, or the lead to a salesperson to follow up with. We can also create different kind of next steps within our own process as well. So we can send an internal email or an internal text message saying that there's a hot lead in your name to the salesperson. If that salesperson doesn't get in touch with them, marketing can continue to reach out to them. If they've already booked a meeting, HubSpot will recognize that and send them a reminder email if we want. But once we get down to this stage, we can start to get creative when it comes to alignment, because what we can do is we can bring in different parts of the business. So although we've seen marketing and sales getting involved here, we can also set up automations to say when a customer has been closed won in the CRM, then we get an automatic email to the service team, or a next step or task set up in the service team's to-do list, and follow up with that customer and get them onboarded, for example. We can also trigger custom code here if we want to do a specialized workflow where we want to say standardized data that's coming in from people's emails or whatever. We can do that through custom code. So we have complete flexibility on aligning our business with workflows and building a customer's journey. So there should be a very kind of well laid out path here for different customer types as they come into the business to make sure that everyone's getting that really high level treatment. Thanks very much.
And I was just thinking there, once we, Luke didn't do a complete job there and explaining exactly how powerful the custom code within a workflow can be for customer alignment, alignment on our side for the customer. With the workflow tool, you'll be able to integrate any kind of third-party platform that you're using, whether that's going to be some sort of area for storing data, whether that's going to be accounting. If a invoice has gone a certain amount of time without being paid, you can use your automations to update the customer. You can really build whatever type of journey that you want with workflows, and I think that's going to be aligning the whole business around the customer. Okay, so just before we dive into the next area, Sarah, what do you think is the workflows, this type of thing, is this coming up on discovery calls a lot with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, everybody, most businesses are looking to automate so much so that the salespeople, the service people can actually crack on speaking with prospects, speaking with customers without having to do so manual updates and entry of data. So, and not only that, but from a sales point of view, that the classic one is opportunities slipping through the net because somebody's forgotten to add a manual call record to check it in 4 or 5 days time. So, to have these workflows to add call records for you, to add reminders, if an opportunity closes or a deal closes, to go off and automatically update something else, that alerts the team or alerts the finance, or as Luke mentioned, have it integrated and off it goes and alerts your finance package. So yeah, automation is definitely a good way, of time saving as well, which is one of the things that I'm hearing a lot of at the moment, as people are obviously getting busier and busier now. So
really.
Yeah, we discuss workflows a lot. But do you know what the trick is, though, is to think, okay, well, what workflows do we absolutely need now and what do we want in the future? Because the minute you start, showing and talking about workflows and how much you can automate, it's like literally everybody wants to automate everything, but you need to do it step by step.
Yeah. But what I like the most about the workflow tool as it is now is that it gives you the ability to really consult on a business issue or a business flow that they already have. So, when I first started in HubSpot 4 years ago and the workflow tool was very marketing based or marketing focused, there was a propensity to kind of just really lean on the problems that maybe marketing were having. But now this is a complete business tool when it comes to any customer facing role. So we can really automate anything, whether that's updating if there's I had one customer the other day who uses Asana for their project management. With workflows, we can update what's happening in Asana in HubSpot, and it just makes everything just work perfectly, which is always really nice, which we love. Okay, cool. So let's talk about collaboration across teams. So this is going to be the last one of the videos, last one of the sneak peeks inside. These tools are going to help your sales, marketing, and service teams work a little bit closer together. And just again, this really demonstrates how closely these teams can work together within HubSpot and how they'll achieve alignment.
Hey guys, so we've spoken a good bit about how we are going to break down the kind of silos when it comes to knowing what's happening with the customer, getting that 360 view. But what about actual collaboration across teams? If service, marketing, sales are going to work together, they have to actually be working in the same environment. I'm back in Morty's contact record here. If you come over to create a note, we'll be able to talk to any of the people that are on the team by mentioning them and you can pick whoever you want across the team. So if you're a service person, you want to talk to somebody in marketing about this. You might have been talking to Morty from a servicing point of view, and he mentioned that there was some deal that you weren't aware of, and you can mention people there and get them to write back to you there. You can also work across functionality with projects. So you'll be able to set up different projects with different goals, times, all that kind of stuff. And you'll be able to create assignees as well. So this would be great if there was an initiative between service and sales to, grow the happiness of the customer, whatever the case may be. And we'll be able to build those tasks into people's to-do list. So what does tasks look like in HubSpot? So tasks allow you to build out your day, your week, and stuff that is upcoming. Once you have gone into your tasks, you can go into Start Tasks here. HubSpot will bring you to the first screen that the task is associated with. So say if I was a salesperson and I had tasks put into my calendar by services to follow up with an install base account to see if there's an opportunity to cross-sell, it would bring me directly here and it would tell me what the task is to do. If I hit complete, HubSpot recognizes that and brings me to the next screen, to the next task that I'd have to do that day. Great way to keep organized, great way to keep collaborating across teams. And it's something that if people are using all different software platforms, very, very difficult to do. So this is the collaboration tools around HubSpot, so you can make sure that all those three teams are working together.
Cool. So that was some of the collaboration tools there, and that was only kind of a brief overview of what we could really do with HubSpot when we were talking about building out those projects and stuff like that. Sales and marketing can run projects together to go after account-based marketing. So very kind of targeted accounts that we can mark within the CRM. Also, we can set up stuff like account scoring between marketing and sales using machine learning if we want as well. Say, okay, these are the types of leads that are going to be that seem to close faster. These are all the data points that we have about those leads, and HubSpot can generate a kind of a prediction, a predictive lead score on that as well. So just we're kind of coming to the end of the presentation now, and I wanted to maybe just bring in one more case study before we do. This is a case study that we have in Ireland, National College of Ireland, which is based out of Dublin. I believe they're right next door to Provident's head office in Dublin. So it's kind of a local one for Provident as well. One of the biggest issues that we see when we deal with education companies, and we deal with NYU, Boston University, Oxford, a lot of kind of big names when it comes to education. And the biggest challenges that they have is that they've got no real alignment with their sales process. They've got, on one hand, they need to recruit students, very marketing intensive. On one hand, they also have a limited supply of places. So sometimes the marketing team does a great job of generating all of these leads, but they can only handle a certain amount of places. And then they also have this whole other kind of black box of after sales for alumni. It's kind of an untapped resource for future growth, for referral business, all that type of stuff. So what we did with these guys is we really sat down with them, redesigned how they are treating the whole process from A to Z. So not just the recruitment of students, but the kind of the salespeople who have a certain amount of supply of seats that they're able to sell within the organization. We're able to communicate directly with the marketing team. The after sales team could work with marketing as well to make sure that they're building a very specific type of campaign for different alumni, and we can track everything in one place. So some of the outcomes that we had was the marketing automated with feedback from the sales team. Sales communicated with the marketing team on dropout levels. This is kind of a big deal as well when it comes to higher education. If their dropout levels are high, and this is a problem for cash flow and stuff like that. So the marketing team needs to up their spend to fill those seats, etc. We get to show them that within HubSpot. And then, of course, that marketing to the alumni segment of the database really helps in generating net new business going forward from that kind of install base of happy customers, for want of a better word. Okay, so let's have a chat about the key takeaways from today. So collaboration in the front office teams is key to customer experience outcomes. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with a travel company, for example, that I was on the phone with earlier on today, trying to rebook something after something was cancelled from COVID. I had to speak to 2 or 3 different organizations, and they didn't seem to have any information about my case when I actually contacted them. So something that's very important. Silos are built in scaling organizations. HubSpot is I would say the preferred CRM for those scaling up organizations. And this is something that we come across quite a lot. All of those different teams not talking to each other. HubSpot allows marketing and sales and service to view the customer in the same way. So there's no difference in the view between the 3 groups, which is great. Collaboration is made possible through the use of common views and tools and automation. That's kind of a long sentence to say that everyone's going to be working together. And the final one is customers should have a consistent experience when working with your company, and HubSpot will allow you to ensure this. So they were the key takeaways. What do you think? Is that, Sarah, does that kind of cover what we were kind of getting at?
Yeah, no, definitely. I completely agree with those key takeaways. You know, each of the different videos, by the way, Luke, I'm getting some good feedback on the chat with them videos, so that's great.
Great.
You know, it is, you know, looking at HubSpot as the CRM platform, and, you know, every data that needs to reach every department, you know, about the customer is there. You can tailor the views based on, you know, which department needs access. You know, it's consistent, and you can tailor it even further to meet the view of a salesperson or a customer service person. But there's no, as we mentioned earlier, separate databases for each of these users, you know, to link into. So yeah, good key takeaways. Probably a good time to bring some questions to your attention, Luke, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Q&A
there you
time.
are. Didn't even, you can tell we've not practiced these slides. I didn't even know that was next.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. So just a couple of questions here then. So one for you, Luke. Is there any plans to create an app for Mac users? As discussing all these processes and alerts, we find the lack of integration with Mac users. So basically, is there going to be an app for Mac? Because the app over the web provides some great features such as desktop notifications. So yeah, app for Macs.
It's interesting that the vast majority of our users are using the interface through through a browser. Yeah. So I know that there is some limitations when it comes to the applications, like especially on phones. If they want to have a chat on exactly the ones that are missing, or if there's any betas in place, they can email me afterwards, and I'm happy to kind of bring them through what's kind of coming down the line. Yeah. But we do, with HubSpot, we do kind of focus on the browser-based approach. So that's where most of it's where the platform works the best, for sure.
Thanks, Luke. Okay, great. Hopefully that answers your question, but yeah, if you do want further information or some specific scenarios, please email them over. The next one here is more around LinkedIn. Obviously, we saw on the videos that you presented, there was a sales navigator plugin, but we have a question here around how much of LinkedIn can HubSpot leverage? Is there other integrations that may not be for sales nav users?
It's a really interesting question when it comes to LinkedIn, because when I was in direct sales, I spent loads and loads of time in LinkedIn kind of sourcing good leads, or maybe looking to kind of infiltrate accounts that were in my territory or whatever. And I was always kind of copy and pasting into the CRM. This is before we had that integration at all with Sales Navigator. One of the biggest things that we come up against when we're trying to leverage the data and other people's platforms is that the data in LinkedIn is what they sell. That's why they exist, or why they can kind of how they generate income. So they're not really too interested in sharing that data with HubSpot. There are some apps out there that do kind of a scraping, and you can save some of the information into like a kind of a database. But HubSpot really isn't about that. There's no integration where you can just say, okay, add all of these accounts as leads. For one thing, we're super serious about the GDPR regulations. These type of regulations are really aimed is the wrong word, but are really concerning for companies like HubSpot that are based on, we send out a few billion emails a week. So we want to make sure that when we're reaching out that we're not breaking any of the rules. So unfortunately, there's not really much in the pipeline when it comes to extra leverage on LinkedIn, which is a pity, but it's something that it's difficult from two elements. One, their protection of the data that they've generated, and two, GDPR stuff with holding people's data without their knowledge.
And to be fair, that's a common problem across most CRMs, apart from an integration with Sales Navigator. Trying to integrate other applications, HubSpot or others, with LinkedIn is extremely difficult. I have a question here. Is there an integration option with an ERP? Okay, so this depends on your ERP, which ERP it is you're going to be using. But yes, HubSpot can integrate with ERPs. If you want to ping me an email with whichever one you're looking at, I'd be more than happy to investigate the integration options for you on that.
Yeah, exactly. And the ERP thing's really interesting as well because of the upgrades that we've had recently when it comes to custom code within workflows. It now there's never been a better time to bring the ERP data into HubSpot and vice versa. It does require a little bit, depending on the ERP that you choose, it might take a little bit of custom integration. But as long as there's an open API on their end, our partners like Provident can set that up for you in a very specific way.
Absolutely, and that probably answers the question that just came in a second ago. Does it integrate with Workflow Max Xero? So Xero being the accounts package, yes, it does. Yeah. On the HubSpot ecosystem, the place where all the apps are, there's actually one there for Xero. So if you want to check that out and see if that does the level of integration you're looking for. If it doesn't, then that can be expanded on and to give you more of a bespoke integration. Again, if you do want to look at that, I'd be more than happy to investigate that with you and come up with some options. There was a question posted on the chat about it'd be good to get some insight on the pricing structure so they can make a business case. Just in case you didn't see my comment a little bit further down, I'd be happy to get those across to you. Obviously, HubSpot is extremely transparent with the pricing, and all of that is accessed on the HubSpot page. But if you're unsure of what hubs you might need or which users in which hubs, then I'd be, again, happy to have that conversation just to give you your base level pricing on that.
Absolutely. And the pricing is interesting as well because it is online, unlike a lot of the competitors, but it does take some nuance as well. I mean, the marketing hub is based on marketing contacts, so the amount of people that you're going to be reaching out to through your marketing campaigns, and then the sales and service stuff is a license-based approach. And then of course there's the free users who are maybe accountants or people who need access to the data but aren't going to be actively interacting with customers. They get to use the platform for free. So it does take a kind of a bespoke approach. Let us know exactly what you need and we'll be able to give you exactly what the price would be in and around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think there's just a couple more at the moment on questions. Okay. How long is a HubSpot free trial?
So it depends on the free trial. Like what we usually do is we kind of keep this for the end of the webinar. But what we've offered in the past through Provident is what we call like a managed trial, where we'll sit down and kind of set out what the goals of the trial should be, and that can be anything up to 2 weeks. if you need a little bit more time, if there's something that you're actually actively testing within the platform, we can extend that for a defined reason. And then you can make a decision if it's going to be something that's going to be good for your business or not. The one thing that I kind of that it's difficult to trial HubSpot generally is that without having all of your data, without having all of your workflow structures set up inside, it's hard to see the value without the implementation. That's why we work with partners on the kind of the scope of work and the delivery side, so that when you buy HubSpot, you actually get something set up, ready to go. The trial doesn't have a lot of data in there as it's kind of a blank canvas. So you will be able to get a feel for HubSpot. You will be able to get to know how your day-to-day might look, but it won't give you an accurate representation of what it could be if it was set up with all of the data, the integration, stuff like that.
No,
so to answer your question, it depends.
Great. And I think there's one more at the moment, and I have just put on the chat any last minute questions. The question we have here is regarding the automation of contacting customers and prospects. How can you do the automation of contacting people but make it seem not automated and impersonal?
Yeah, so this is something that we really try to do with all of our communication. So how we tackle that really comes down to that 360 view of the customer. So when we were talking about earlier, when I was showing Morty in that case, so we have got you might have his date of birth, his email, company that he works in, the region where he viewed our content. All these data points, what we can do is we can actually put in little tokens into our email templates. So it will say, "Hi Morty, I saw that you were looking at this web page," and insert web page that the last one he looked at. I can also see that you guys are based out of Swansea or whatever, and you guys are interested in X, Y, Z. You used to be a customer of ours until, and then you can put in like last payment date or whatever, and you can really make it personalized to that situation. And you can do that with every piece of kind of outreach that you do within HubSpot.
Excellent, thank you. Luke, we have another one just come in. We have time. You're good for time, aren't you? Yeah?
Yeah, we're good for time.
Great. So do the workflows need to be set up in a particular way? Can we have a consultant set up workflows for us to take to Provident, or is that not advisable? Do we need to set up workflows in a schematic or particular way? Okay. So at Provident, we can help you set up the workflows. So that, the first part of setting up workflows in HubSpot is actually, I would say, actually putting them down on pen and paper first, literally just drawing a quick diagram. So if somebody visits your website and they click on a certain URL, do you want them to get an email immediately? Do you want them to wait 30 minutes just to see if they go somewhere else first before, doing the next step? So we can help with setting up. And in fact, we have quite a few HubSpot customers that we do that for them. So they, give us a call and say, right, this is the marketing we have running at the minute. The campaign needs to do this. This is what we need to achieve from the campaign. And we go away and build the campaign for you. So, it's extremely flexible. But obviously, I don't know if I should mention names when people are asking questions, but the person that asked that question, if you do want to talk more about that, I'm more than happy to have a call with you, just to discuss any options, on what you can do to make sure that your workflows are being set up properly.
Exactly. And it depends on how much you want to leverage HubSpot workflows for your business. So say if you, like Sarah mentioned there, if you want to set up marketing and you've got an outcome in mind, and we need to kind of set up a way to, one, test that to see, make sure that everything's working perfectly, all that good stuff, we can definitely help in that case. But if you guys want to make HubSpot like the center of your business, your customer-facing business when it comes to automations, and you want to be pulling data from third-party apps and putting that data into marketing automation, or even in sending out invoices through your the Xero setup or whatever, and you want to pull information from HubSpot to do that. You may need some custom code, and if you've got custom code in your workflows, you can really design any type of process that is best for your business. It either requires a technical person to do that within your organization, or leveraging a partner like Provident as well. They're your two options, I would say.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Luke. Okay. That at the minute is the last of the questions.
Cool.
Guys, if you're monitoring the chat, you will have just seen Daniela, who's our marketing lady, has just put a link in there. So if you could spare 2 minutes to just provide feedback on how you felt this webinar was, if you found it useful, any suggestions for next time, because we want to keep improving them. We want to make it, something that you'd like to come and see in the future again. So please, if you do have 2 minutes, just fill out the survey. And lastly, thank you all for joining, and thanks, Luke. Excellent material presented there. If you have any questions at all, my email address is on the screen. It was anyway. I'll put it in the chat. No, it's fine. I can stick it in the chat just one last time. It's been in there several times because a few people have been emailing me actually throughout the session. Yeah, any questions at all, feel free to email me, and I'd be happy to help. To see how HubSpot, if you're using it already, how better it could be aligned, or if you haven't used HubSpot and would like to know more about it, email me anything to do with HubSpot.
Absolutely. And we can also kind of honor that, what we usually do at the end of these webinars as well, where we say, if you guys do want a 2-week trial where we can actually sit down and kind of manage it and look at what type of outcomes are necessary, we can set that up as well. Contact Sarah or myself and we can take it from there. But yeah, like I said, thanks very much for joining us today. I think Danielle will have access to recordings and all that good stuff afterwards, so you might be hearing from us. But otherwise, have a great week, and we can hope to see you guys soon.
Excellent. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, Sarah.
Speak soon. See you later. Thanks, Luke.
Bye.